Hi, I'm back with a million videos today. Sorry about that. And one of the last things I want to talk about here is some concealers from e.l.f. that I got. This one I've had for a while, just haven't had a chance to make a video on it. And this one I got recently, and this is their corrective concealer palette from the Studio line. This is from the Studio line as well. I think it's called Concealer, Pencil, and Brush. So I'll talk about this one first since I got it first and I've been using it. I love that it comes with this little built-in sharpener, especially because it's not the standard skinny pencil size. So you don't have to worry about, getting a separate sharpener if you don't have one already that will fit a pencil of this size. And it's just so convenient for on the go because you don't have to bring a sharpener with you if you're traveling or something. And this is the lightest color. Doesn't really say it anywhere because I think it got, I don't know if it originally had a sticker or something and it fell off, but this is the lightest color. I think it's called light, I want to say. And so there's a pencil part to it, and it says blend, and it's a brush right here on the other end of it. And this this brush is actually really, really, really nice because if you are looking for, or if you like those kinds of pencil brushes that come to a nice point and that are kind of fairly firm, like if you wanted to use this to apply a dark color to like your outer V and you wanted it to be kind of pointy so that you can concentrate the color there, this is a really nice brush. I mean, it's almost worth getting this product to have a brush like this. If this is the kind of brush that you would use, it's almost worth getting it for this brush. And if you hate the pencil, then at least you got this brush. And it's the same kind of bristles and everything as their regular Studio line brushes, so nice and soft and all that stuff. Alright, so the concealer part of it looks like this. This is the color. And looks a little bit too warm for my skin tone. This is what it looks like swatched on my hand. And actually, even though this color doesn't look like a perfect match for me, it ends up blending pretty nicely, and I think because it's close enough, it works quite well for my face, for my skin tone. And I've used this underneath my eyes. I've used this on blemishes, which I think is really nice for that because, it's a pencil, so you can just kind of like point and kind of very conveniently, get in a small area and then just kind of blend it out. I actually prefer to blend with my fingers. I haven't used this brush to blend. I think the heat of my fingers and everything helps me blend concealers better, but if you prefer a brush, I don't know how well this one works. Unfortunately, for that purpose, I think this would be better as like an eyeshadow crease brush. So this works really nicely, and the coverage of this is probably medium, maybe medium to heavy. I have had some heavier coverage concealers. That's why I'm hesitant to really call this heavy coverage. But it does give you decent coverage. It's worked quite nicely under my eyes, and overall I really like this. I wasn't sure I was gonna like this because there's something about pencil concealers that makes me a little bit weary, and I initially think like, oh, I'm gonna like poke myself in the eye trying to like put this on, because a lot of pencil concealers that I've tried, which are the cheaper versions usually, tend to be kind of harsh and really not soft enough. And this is very soft. I mean, you saw how easily it glided on my hand when I swatched it for you. It's very nice and soft, and granted it is kind of warm here now in the summer, but I do have air conditioning on in my house, so it shouldn't be ridiculously warm. But it is definitely soft enough to use underneath your eye, on your blemishes. I actually really like the way this product works. If this was all natural, I would probably use this every day. But because it's not, and it does not have parabens in it, I'm not sure about all the other products. I think some of them are questionable if you're into the all natural thing, but it does not have parabens, which is a good thing, and that's something I've looked for when ordering their products. And actually pretty much all the products I have from them that I bought recently have been paraben free, because that's something that I've been looking for. And you'll be surprised how many they have that don't contain them in the Studio line specifically. But anyway, that's it. If you don't care about all natural or not all natural, then you know that part of it is really not important. But I do like this, and I am happy with this. I do have some concealers for underneath my eye that work better just because they're heavier coverage and yellow, and I think yellow tends to really neutralize my under eye circles. I know some people like pink or a salmon color, so depends on your skin tone, depends on the color of your under eye circles. But the yellow and the heavier coverage works a little bit better for me, so I probably wouldn't switch to this product for my under eye circles. But I do really like how convenient it is for blemishes. I use usually actually from e.l.f. their tiny little smudge brush or something from their Studio line, and a powder concealer, and I kind of pinpoint the blemishes, and I blend it in. So this is a little bit easier because the powder can get messy. So yeah, like I said, my only thing with this is the reason I don't use it every single day or anything is because it's not natural. But if quick on the go travel kind of thing, I think it's perfect. And if you don't care about ingredients and natural kind of things, and I am pregnant, just in case you didn't know that, so I might be a little bit more paranoid about that kind of stuff now. Just trying to be very, cautious of everything I use. But this is a great product, and it's really nice. And I recommend it for $3. I mean, just for the brush, absolutely worth it. So the Corrective Concealer Palette, again, I believe this does not contain parabens in it, but still not natural. So this is what it looks like. You have two skin colors on the outer edges here, and then you have a green and a pink in the middle. And this kind of looks like the shimmer palette in style of the palette itself, but these are a lot firmer than the shimmer palette. They're not as soft. And this is what they look like. And even this lightest color is too dark for me. The darkest color is definitely too dark. The lightest one is a little bit too dark, and then these two are, they're corrective colors. So there it is, swatched on my hand. And these are heavy swatches. My problem with this concealer is that when you blend, these pretty much blend all out. And the thing is that these are all the same, obviously the same consistency in this palette, the same coverage, whatever. And for colors such as green and pink, you want that to be sheer because you want to use the green on like redness and stuff, and you want to use the pink on areas that are dark, sallow, things you want brightened. And you don't want them to be super opaque because you don't want it to be like, bam, green right there. You want it to be somewhat sheer, especially when you put foundation or whatever over it. It covers up the green entirely. It doesn't look green at all. You just have the green under there counteracting redness, but you can't see the green color showing through in your face. So, and I think that these two work really well because of that, because they're somewhat sheer, they're really creamy and easy to blend. But these two, because they're the same kind of thing, they're kind of sheer, they don't work as well, because for a skin color concealer, I want something that gives me more coverage. These are very light coverage. And, if you're trying to cover up a blemish with that or use your under eyes, you're going to have a really hard time doing that. But I mean, because you have the four colors, if they were all opaque, like really opaque, then these two wouldn't work as well, because it would be too green or something. So it's kind of a trade-off. Like, they can't all be perfect and still be the same consistency. So these two work really well. These two a little bit too sheer for me to use as a concealer. So keep that in mind, but I do really like these two, and I think it's worth getting for them if you think you'll use, if you have redness to cover and stuff. So overall, I like this, but just not these two. So thank you very much.